Then we got the media coverage. CNN praises Biden for causing the sun to rise in the east this morning. Now, of course, that's from the Babylon Bee. That's not a real article, guys. But it's been entertaining watching the reactions to it. Here's another one. This is from a state-affiliated media organization in China. Good riddance, Donald Trump. Goodbye. And someone said to that, when China is applauding your country has seriously effed up. What do you think about? What was your reaction?
That's exactly my reaction. Yeah. I mean, I got up and I watched it live, and you need a strong stomach to watch that stuff. But we watched it live, and I was surprisingly calm. I didn't get the least bit upset. I wasn't the least bit fussed because I know certain things, and I speculate about others. But I was quite calm watching the performance. But one of the things, let's go chronologically, the inauguration proper, the fact that Lady Gaga sang the national anthem, and for those that understand this, will understand this, this is a message that certain people are back in control. It wasn't an accident that Lady Gaga was selected. The speech, Biden's acceptance speech, was magnificent. Not him, he didn't write it, he couldn't string two words together.
Of course not. He delivered it incredibly well. So I was impressed.
His meds must have been high, but without any sarcasm, 10 out of 10 to the speechwriters, a beautiful speech. Completely irrelevant, completely wrong from a guy that's been in politics for how long? And he was vice president for 8 years. Yeah. And it's the speech of the hero who has saved the country, not the guy that's been there degrading it for 4 decades plus. Yeah. But lovely speech, beautifully delivered. Yeah. But as we've been saying before for a long time, we're being shown a movie and we're supposed to believe the movie. Well, a lot of us don't believe the movie.
Fun fact, Joe Biden, as you said, he's served for over 4 decades and the service continues, as we can see. When he started serving in the Senate and in the Congress, he basically, he was one of the youngest members, and there were members alive there serving that were born in the late 1800s. That's how long this guy's been around. I mean, I think he's been around for like 33% of the history of the United States. That's how long he's been serving.
And his bank balance is fat.
Oh, yeah.
But the country is broken. That should tell you everything.
And we've covered that. We've talked about not just his balance, more importantly, his family's balance, whether that be his son, Hunter Biden, inking a $1.5 billion private equity deal in China after flying with his father on Air Force 2, which is another violation. All of this happened. Joe Biden was also put on the housing board or something to rebuild Iraq or something like that. And his brother at the time was also awarded a housing contract in Iraq.
It's the contracts. If you want to know, follow the contract. And look, if you want a bit of an insight, and I wasn't going to mention this, but if you can find an old series called Boss with Kelsey Grammer, and Kelsey Grammer plays the corrupt mayor of Chicago, but that's a tautology, I repeat myself. Have a look at that show. It's extraordinary. It came out many years ago now. But the series, it was cut short, and I think it was because it was cutting too close to the bone. But if you understand the real purpose of politics, you've got to watch that show. It's a little fictional insight into the grubby nature of real politics. So ramp that up a large level and go to the Biden level. And goodness me, it's the contracts, it's the flow of money. That's it.
Yeah, the Clinton organization, this is the analogy I use. The Clinton organization, the equivalent for Joe Biden is his family. Because what he does is he gets these deals for his son, for example, $80,000 a month to work for a private gas company in Ukraine. And then what he does is that child will pay all the bills. So paying for his father's bills. So it's like, okay, well, who's really getting the money here? And that's where a lot of people this week, I've actually been exchanging online with Drew Pavlo. We've been doing sort of a tit for tat posts on Joe Biden's corruption, basically, and his family's corruption with China. He doesn't believe that Joe Biden is going to be worse on China. He thinks he's going to be better. And I'm like, mate, where have you been? Like, this is embarrassing. Like, I honestly feel sorry for Drew, because it's like, Drew, I don't want you to be, I respect what you're doing. You are a progressive and you're about my age. You've been battling with the Chinese Communist Party in your university. They got rid of you at one point and now you're back, which is great. But you need to understand the truth on this. Joe Biden is not better on China. he will not start a trade war with China like Trump did.
He's not going to bite the hand that feeds him.
Absolutely.
And again, the reason this is interesting, because what happens in the US affects us, but if you understand the game, then you can see what's happening here in Oz. The same, crooked politicians here face the same problem. How do they get the money that they are due for delivering the policies that the rich backers want? And we've mentioned one before, like, for example, you are allowed to purchase a house on very low price and a good deal, and then you can sell it sometime later, let's say, for a massive profit, because somebody else then buys it, the same person buys it back from you, and they transfer the money. That's, let's say, allegedly one, potentially one. Another way is, and this was a popular method of a politician some decades ago, a company might want a particular policy. So what would happen was this politician would make a public statement. A media organisation might say something slanderous about the politician, and then the politician would then take the media organisation to court. It'd be in the court for some time, and then they'd settle privately. And the media organisation would acknowledge, yes, well, I'm sorry, we probably went too far, and there's a private settlement, so we can stop the legal action. So it was a kabuki theatre. It was a performance piece. It was a pantomime.
Yeah.
And so people think that things are being done, but that's the way you can transfer large sums of money from one individual to a politician. And it's just one example. There are any number of ways to get politicians rich for delivering the policies that the wealthy backers, and in this case China, wants.
Interesting.
So watch what's happening, but look at the game that's being played and who's playing it.
Yeah.
And you'll start to see the method. Once you see the method, you can't unsee it anymore.
Yeah, and it's awesome when that happens. And that's what we need to see more of. I mean, last week we talked about Project Veritas and what they were doing with exposing a lot of fraud that was going on in America. That is amazing. It is amazing citizen journalism, and we want to see more of it. I mean, that's what we want to see in Australia.
Well, do you remember you asked me what's the future of media? And I said, you are. This. This guy here. This guy's the future of media. And you get to choose, because it is genuinely a market-driven event. Joel survives because he delivers value. You like it, and you're happy to pay a couple of bucks a week to keep it going. I mean, how cool is that?
That's awesome.
And this is the future. And what I love about Joel is he's happy to see. Here's one metric: the truth. If it's the truth, it's in. If it's not, it's out. That's as simple as that. And you guys pick up on it. And so he will deal with the progressives, with the left, the right, the middle, the in between, the up, the down, the black. He doesn't care. He just pursues the truth. And when the Australian people start to see it and then appreciate what you're doing, you and guys like you and girls like you will be fabulously powerful and important. One small problem is that the platforms, they have to be open, but that's a separate question for later.
It's a big club and you ain't in it. That's what George Carlin used to infamously said.
That's right.
But this is the thing. I'm actually not a citizen journalist, guys. That's more Monica Schmidt-esque. I'm actually just a commentator. I don't do the hard yards. I do some hard yards, but it's not like
he's lying. He works his tail off.
No. I do work my ass off, but it's in a different way. What I do is because what do you guys see every week? You see headlines, news headlines, BBC, ABC, but you see all of this crap, but you don't know how to make sense of it because they're contradicting each other from a month ago. Once upon a time, protests were bad. Now they're also bad. But with the Black Lives Matter protests, for example, they were saying that violent protests are the language of the unheard. Now, what did they say when Trump's people supposedly stormed the Capitol? They say, "Oh no, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. It's never been burned down since the doors haven't been breached since the UK came back and tried to take over us." The point is that I'm actually just dissecting the news. I'm trying to make sense of it for you guys. I don't do the hard yards on the ground, but I do a lot of hard work in trying to get you the truth. And that's why when people insult where I'm coming from, you say I'm a plant, that's where it's like...
Are they still saying that?
They'll never stop.
Oh, okay.
And I love those people. I'm fighting for you people too, and I never will stop. But you need to stop trying to be the one that's the first one to say, Riccardo's a plan. I was the first to do it. I knew it from the start.
For whom are we allegedly working? I'm fascinated because they're not paying very well, let me tell you.
They don't. They take it. I mean, the audience takes care of me, but there are some people out there, they are just happy throwing stones. Get off your butt and do something. Don't trust the plan, be the plan. Stop looking for the next plan and the next best thing. Actually get something done.